Hey, what is up guys? Epic Pokemon TCG here, and today guys I've got a deck profile for you, and we're going to be taking a look at Raikou, Tapu Koko, Electrode deck. So this is a deck I've been playing here, and I want to note right now, there's 4 in this list, but that's because I don't want to buy a Jolteon because it's 15 bucks and it's going to rotate out, and chances are I'm probably not going to continue to play this deck, and I like how it plays now, so yeah, we're just going to get into the list. So starting off, we have what should be 3 Raikou. If you guys don't know what Jolteon EX does, basically it just prevents you from getting damaged by basic Pokemon. So it's just kind of a little stall card, like a big wall your opponent has to get through. But Raikou has Shining Body. If this Pokemon has any electric energy attached to it, any damage done to this Pokemon by attacks is reduced by 20. Then it has Thunder Lance, which does 50, and then 20 more for each electric energy attached to Raikou. Now, essentially what this deck is going to do is it's going to get electric energy out pretty quickly, and you have Electrode to increase that, which I'll get to here in a second, and then it has Tapu Koko to be kind of a surprise Pokemon. But the good thing about Raikou is that it's a 1-prize attacker, and it does a decent amount of damage. And on top of that, it can one-shot Shamans, and all around with a Finding Fury belt on it, it has 160 HP, and it's hitting for 120, and that's just for 3 energy. You can load up as many energies as you want on it, but still not too bad of a card. So next up, we're going to take a look at Tapu Koko GX. Now, this is one of the brand new cards out of Guardians Rising. It is actually a pretty awesome card. I didn't like it too much when I first saw it, but after I got some hands-on experience with it, I grew to really like this card. It has the ability Arrow Trail. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may move any number of electric energy from your other Pokemon to this Pokemon. If you do, switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon. So basically, if you have a Tapu Koko in your hand and you have 3 energy on the field, you can play it down, attach the energy, and just make it your active. It's a really cool surprise attacker, and along with that, it has Sky High Claws for 130, which again is just an attack that can 2-shot a lot of Pokemon. And then it has Tapu Thunder GX, which does 50 times the amount of energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So if your opponent has 2 energy, that's 100, 4 energy, that's 200, and if your opponent has, like, I don't know, 6 energy, well, that's just a ton of damage. So Tapu Koko is really a surprise Pokemon, and one that is really good and can get something out of the active squad if it's about to get knocked out or if you're just in a bind. And on top of that, I've gotten this set up turn 1 multiple times, and turn 1 hitting your opponent for 130 or that early in the game can put a lot of pressure on your opponent and give the game in your favor, I guess. And we have a 2/2 Electrode. Now, Electrode is actually a really interesting card, mostly because it just gives you 2 extra energy whenever you use the ability. So once during turn before you attack, you may knock out this Pokemon and attach it to one of your electric Pokemon as a special energy card. This card provides 2 electric energy only when it's attached to an electric Pokemon. I know this card caught an errata, and the wording is a little different, but it's essentially the same thing. I think it was for that multi-switch card that came out in Guardians Rising. I know that's what they kind of changed it up.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I think it was something along the lines of it could get moved to something else and not get discarded. It was something along those lines. I'm not 100% sure. So
I'm pretty sure that is it.
Is it? Oh, did I actually get that right? Wow. So yeah, I also run 2 Level Ball in here just to get the Voltorb and the Electrode out, and it's really easy. Your opponent does get a prize, but still, when you think about it, you're getting an attacker set up, and I do run Ace Trainer in this deck, and Tapu Lele, so you can get the Ace Trainer off. So you just pretty much just knock this out, attach it to an electric Pokemon, and there's 2 energy right there. And also, when you do play Tapu Koko down, you can move Electrode to your Tapu Koko, so that's also something really awesome you can do there. It sucks when you get Enhanced Hammered because basically you just gave your opponent a free prize, so that's something to look out for, but still pretty good card. So next up we have the 2 support Pokemon. The reason why I'm only running 1 Tapu Lele is because I only own 1, and I'm just trying to see which one I like. So far I like this, just a 1-1 split. I'm not having a liability, like 2 of them sitting on my bench the entire game, and I'm taking that out for a Pokemon to guarantee me a supporter. If I see Ultra Ball in my hand and this isn't prized, that's a guaranteed supporter. That's so strong. And it's an attacker, which is awesome. We ain't going to be looking at Tapu Cure because obviously I can't do it with this deck. But it has Energy Drive. Basically, this is just Mewtwo's X-Ball. Does 20 times for each energy attached to both defending Pokemon, but you don't apply weakness. But still a pretty strong attacker. Just 2 colorless energy. And then, of course, Shaman for setup. You guys know what that does. Now we're going to get into these supporters here. Starting off, we have 4 Professor Sycamore. Don't really need to go too much into this. This is just a draw supporter. And then we have 2 N, again, just a draw supporter. And we also have 1 Ace Trainer in here. So Ace Trainer, this is actually going to be partnered up with Electrode. Or if you're just getting absolutely spit on and you need to play this. So Buzz Zap Thunder is going to give your opponent a prize, and then you can use Ace Trainer. And since, okay, early on, if you are both deadlock at 6, give you guys an example here before I go on. If you're deadlock at 6th, you give your opponent a prize, so it goes to one of your Pokemon. You play down Ace Trainer, and this is easily accessible with Tapu Lele, which is why I actually want to increase up to maybe 2 in the future. That's something I've been looking into. But basically, since you'll technically be behind in prizes, your opponent will shuffle their hand into their deck, draw 3, and you get a fresh hand of 6. So this is essentially an N, but you get that combination in this deck too. Plus, this can just be a card you can have in case your opponent has 4 prize cards and you have 5. You can just lower down their hand size, which is pretty good. Next up, 2 Lysander. This deck can pretty much 2-shot stuff, so having Lysander is really clutch, and Lysander all around just a staple. And then we have 1 Professor Kukui, or however you want to say this dude's name. Yeah, Cookie, Professor Kukui. If you're ever short some damage, and you can just do 20 more and draw 2 cards, so that's not too bad. Now I'm going to get into kind of like the general strategy of this deck here. So of course we did see Electrode earlier. That's Voltorb. So yeah, these are pretty much the 3 key cards along with Aether Paradise and Fighting Fairy Belt. I opted for Fighting Fairy Belt over Choice Band, mostly because of Raikou's ability. Of course, you tank 20 damage whenever you get attacked, and if Raikou has electric energy on it. But if you have the Stadium out too, so if Raikou has an energy, you're going to be reducing damage by 50, and then along with that, Fighting Fairy Belt is going to make this Pokemon 160, preventing 50 damage per turn if your opponent doesn't discard the Stadium, of course. And so that can just be really annoying. And on top of that, when they finally do knock out this Pokemon, they're only getting 1 prize card out of it, which is pretty good. Along with that, Tapu Koko can just really come in as a surprise, and if you attach a Fighting Fury, that's 210 HP, and you're reducing damage by 30, so that's really awesome. And it doesn't restrict you to just active Pokemon, so all of your Pokemon get their damage reduced by 30. So let's say you go against Umbreon GX and you use their attack that's basically Darkrai's Night Spear, because I can't think of the name. They're going to do 90, or 60 I mean, and then they can't do anything because 30 goes to the bench, and this is going to prevent it, which is actually really strong. And so we're going to play 3 copies of Aether Paradise and 3 copies of Fighting Fury Belt. And you pretty much just, this deck is annoying. That's essentially what it is. It's annoying. You got a surprise, you got a strong 1 prize attacker, and you have energy just waiting for you. And then we have 4 VS Seeker just to get back all your beautiful, amazing supporters. And then to make the energy acceleration even more retarded with this deck, we have 4 Max Elixir. You guys know what Max Elixir does. 6 off the top of your deck, you get a basic energy out of here, and that's literally all we run. That's all that's in here. It's just electric energy. So chances are if you hit an energy, it's going to be electric. Then we have 4 Ultra Ball. This is just so, of course, you can grab your Tapu Lele early on if you need a supporter or just any Pokemon in general. Tapu Koko. And then we have the 2 Level Ball, of course, for Electrode and Voltorb, so you can get those. Just 6 ball cards. Next up we have, I have 6 balls in my deck, that's why Lonnie started laughing. We have 3 Trainers Mail. This can just help you fetch out stuff out of your deck, make it a little more consistent. Now, something I hate this card. I will not lie. I hate this card to no end. But
I love this card.
But it's actually really good with this deck because of what Tapu Koko's ability is. So when you play down Tapu Koko, of course, you move all energy off of some other Pokemon, or some energy off of Pokemon, excuse me, and you move them to Tapu Koko. So let's say you have, I don't know, a Raikou active, and it has 3 energy on it, and it's about to die. You can play down Tapu Koko, move all the energy off of Raikou to another Pokemon, and then just max potion it, and you don't lose any energy. Or if your opponent's trying to pick off something off your bench, you can just max potion it. Max potion just opens up a lot of different plays, a lot of different scenarios, and keeps your attackers alive for pretty much just a longer distance. Or I've even had Tapu Koko active and I played down another Tapu Koko, move all the energy to the other Tapu Koko and just max potion it. Max potion is just really good, even though I absolutely hate the card. And then we have 2 Super Rod. This is just so you can keep refreshing your Pokemon, getting them back into your deck, and then of course you can shuffle in Electric Energy for Max Elixir, and you can reuse your Electrode if you need to. I don't advise using it too many times during one game. And then we have 1 Escape Rope. It's always good to have a switching card, just to get some out of the active spot. You never know. Tapu Koko won't be enough, but still having Escape Rope's pretty good. And to round out the deck here, guys, we have, I believe, 10 Electric Energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, I got it right. 10 Electric Energy. This is just so your Pokemon can attack. Yeah, the strategy is very simple. Raikou is just a 1 prize attacker. Tapu Koko is a surprise, and you have cards like Aether, Paradise, and Fighting Fairy Belt to kind of manipulate damage a little bit, and of course Max Potion to heal those Pokemon. Electro can provide you 2 extra energy if you knock it out, and then Ace Trainer can be a card in there that can kind of disrupt your opponent, along with End, of course. But still, nonetheless, one of my favorite decks coming out of Guardians Rising, just because of the pretty much Tapu Koko. It's a card that grew on me. I love it. And of course, Aether Paradise. I mean, you just, when you think about it, tanking 50 damage and just reducing that can really screw up a lot of decks because, well, they can't hit you very hard. You run Max Potion, you're only giving it 1 prize, and Tapu Koko is just there to pretty much give them the middle finger. So yeah, that is going to do it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like it and subscribe if you're not subscribed. It would be much appreciated. I love you all, and this is Pokemon TCG signing out. Take care.